Hey guys, it's Dima from DimusTech. If you remember, about half a year ago, my computer, or in short my motherboard, died. Sadly, I had no way knowing if that was the motherboard or something else. The only way to find out was to have a small internal speaker in my motherboard, which I didn't have. After I went to the computer store, they actually forgot their speaker and left it in my motherboard, so I gained one, which was nice, but still, it's not the best. About a month ago, my friend had a similar issue with his motherboard, and then he thought that his power supply was dead. His father went on and took a power supply tester and actually tested it and found out that the power supply is okay. And that got me thinking, why wouldn't I get myself a small kit to test those things? So here it is. Here's a small kit that will allow us to actually test those things, and we'll actually put them to a test. So first of all, I bought those from AliExpress separately. You can buy a kit, but it doesn't worth it, trust me. So I got the power supply tester, and as you can see, it even has a screen. You basically need to plug all the connectors as far as I understood, and it will just show you if they're okay or not. Sadly, this thing doesn't come with any instructions or manual or guide or anything. So just try it yourself, and that's it. And we will try that soon. But in short, you have your, I think it's 24-pin motherboard connector. I have no idea what that's supposed to be. You have your power, actually it's an older power, you know what? Not really sure how well we will need that. And you have those pins as well. And you have your fan pin, so you can check the fan or probably something like that. So that's the power supply, it doesn't come with anything. That's it, that's how it works. I hope it works, we'll check it soon. And the other thing, which is a lot better I think, is the motherboard tester. So there are motherboards that have even a small screen, there are motherboards that have a speaker and LEDs and things like that. So basically this is the tester. Now that connects to your PCI slot, and when you boot it up, it has a speaker, it has LEDs, and it has that screen that will show you errors. Now about the errors, if you think how would you know about the errors, what errors you receive, you have a manual here. Now in that manual actually you have both instructions on how to use it. Actually the manual is pretty fine, I would say. And besides that, you actually have your code list. So basically there are lots of codes, so you can find out which code means what. This is awesome. And in the end, if we'll actually go to the end somewhere, you have the factory administrator passwords for various motherboard companies, which is also awesome. Now that tester also comes with that cable that actually I didn't understand where it should go. I think you're supposed to connect the jumper here towards the speaker connector. At least that's what I think. We'll have to test it out. Let me bring my computer, which it's time to actually clean up from the inside as well, and we will try to test those things out. Okay, so as I said, I need to clean my PC. To be honest, I already tested the power supply tester just to make sure that I know how it works. But basically what you are supposed to do is take off your 24 pin, I think it's 24, and then you just insert it in that pin. Now keep in mind, it will start actually to go wild. I mean, it will beep. And it will beep non-stop pretty much. But I'll show you in a moment what you're supposed to do to stop it beeping. So right now, let me try to focus on that. As you can see, it's beeping, but you can see what's written. Now, as you can see, it basically doesn't have sort of a load. Now, if you'll take that 6 pin, for example, and we'll insert it actually here, it was supposed to stop beeping. Okay, so, as I told you, we can test that port. So we can test that port with the old power supply connections. Let's see if I have something kind of comfortable to show you. No, only here, which I don't think you are able to see. Okay, here's that port. And if I'll insert it, it should also stop beeping if I remember correctly. Well, obviously if I'll insert it fully, not like what I did right now. No, this is still beeping. But, as you can see on the lights, it shows you that it can output plus 12 volts and plus 5 volts. Okay, great. Now, we have another plug like that one nowadays. And actually this one is the one that goes here. Yeah, it actually goes there, and it should work for us if we'll plug it like this. As you can see, we now have all the lights. So this one can provide us plus 12 volts, plus 3.3 volts, and plus 5 volts. Now I still don't get the idea with the load. Basically, the plus 12 volts here doesn't seem to work normally for some reason. Honestly, I'm not really sure why it beeps. Maybe you're supposed to boot it up while it's plugged? Let's try that. No more electricity. Now we'll give it electricity back. And now it's booted. Oh, I think it shows you now how much time it takes to actually start the boot. And it says 250 milliseconds on that screen. What I mean is this number. That wasn't there the other time. If we'll take now that and we'll unplug that, it will start beeping again because we don't have the 12 volts here, the plus 12 volts, which we can gain again by plugging off one of those cables, of the 6 pins. As you can see, it stops beeping now, because you do have your plus 12 volts. So that's pretty much how that thing works. Now, let me power off that thing, and give me a few seconds to figure out the other tester, and we'll see how that one works. Okay, so now I figured out how to use that thingy, and as you can see, I unplugged the internal speaker that I got from that store that we forgot. Now this has a 4-pin connector. Instead of that, I connected this sort of jumper cable to the speaker to here, to the motherboard, and this is currently not connected. We'll connect it now to the PCI Express if I remember correctly. So basically you just push it into your slot, and if you have that older slot, I think it was called a something, I forgot. So you will have to connect it there. Now, I'm not really sure if the camera will be able to see it, but let's give power to our computer and then boot it up. As you can see, the codes will start to run. Let me try to readjust it here. As you can see, it's now on A2, A0, and in a moment it will be on B2, A2. That's it. Now, we have a whole thing here with the codes. Let me just try to show you what it means, what we see right now, and then we'll try to simulate a different error. So first of all, we have the B2 number. Now that one, I hope you can see, says that post done, prepare to boot operating system. Now that's the B2. Now we have the A2. So let's go to A2. That basically tells you displaying any soft error next. As you can see, those codes pretty much give you everything that you need. Now, we are not finished. There are LEDs, as you can see, and when it booted up you also heard the speaker for a moment. You heard it one time, so that's okay. So the LED code is here, but it doesn't go by the correct order. So I just know one thing, that the last LED should be reset. And if I'll hit reset on my computer, basically if I'll restart, you'll see it flashing. And here it is. It flashed. So now the computer is resetting, and as you can see, it will go back to B2A2. That's it. So it's booting correctly. Now let's power off our computer and try to simulate an error. Okay, so now it's powered off. And I think we can try to... yeah, we'll take the memory out. You know, the simplest thing to do. So, yeah. Oh, crap. Let's hope I won't break anything. Okay. Now our computer doesn't have any memory installed. So let's try to boot it up. We should hear the speaker and we also see some errors. The computer won't be able to boot up. So let's go ahead, power it on. And as you can hear, we don't have memory and we have 20C5. 20C5. Yeah, okay. Let's look on our code error and see what it is. Now it says initialize slot 0 system border test DRAM refresh. So basically it cannot test the RAM. The other one says C5. Let's go to C5 and see what that one is. The other error isn't quite understandable. The C5 says OEM specific early shadow enable for fast boot. PN, PND, dual CMOS optional. Okay, not really sure what it is, but as you can see, it does know that we don't have memory because it couldn't test the memory. Let's now turn off the computer again. I think we heard the noise enough. Install back our memory. Let's boot again our computer just to be sure that now it works well. We should get B2A2 in the end. And here it is, A2A0, which is booting up, and B2A2. We're back to normal. We're booted. Let me try to focus on the error. Sorry, it's not an error, it's okay right now. So as you can see, that thing works awesome, and now we can use that when we have any issue with our motherboard or any other component, and this thing will allow us to know what's the issue and assist us in debugging it. As always, I'll give a link to those two testers in the description of this video so you can get them yourselves and also be able to debug issues with your computers. And as always, see you in the next one. Thank you for watching this DimusTech episode. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button and hit the bell so you won't miss any future video. And I'll see you on the next one.